All right, let's do it.
All right.
Hi, it's so nice to see you today. Thanks for joining us. We got Joseph Bamber and John Bamber here, and they are being such a help. So we really appreciate them coming on and helping me almost every day of the week, because you know how it is when family gets involved. They're very helpful. So we're going to be talking about, there's a frequency for that. I guess that's the way to say it. That's the title of my presentation today. There's a frequency for that. And I can keep saying that over and over again. And I do want to say that John's wife, Lindsay, is the person that says, you keep saying there's a frequency for that, you know? So we're kind of grabbing onto that and using it to share a few more ideas with you today. We're not talking about a specific subject. We are talking about frequencies in general. So just a compilation and ideas about frequencies and why it is so important that we learn about frequencies and try to put them to good use in our lives today. Anything that you want to say, Joseph or John? We are starting
We're excited. Go ahead.
So I will share my screen here. Just a minute. We'll be going.
So I just shared this with our Facebook Fanatics group. So that's live. And yeah, if you're watching this on Zoom and you have a question, just enter that in the Q&A and we'll get back to you as fast as we can. And yeah, we'll take a break here and there and ask some questions for Linda. And we've got some news and announcements of some winners from our Mother's Day giveaways last week. We'll do that at the end.
All right. So is everything set up correct now? There's a frequency for that.
You still got some gray boxes there if you can.
Oh my goodness.
Hide
All
those.
of these gray boxes to hide. How's that?
Still there in the middle of
One more. There it goes.
And one at the top.
That's us. Do you want me to take
Yeah.
us? That's our images.
Whatever you need.
You know
Yep.
if I take our images off, then that's what it is. Sorry, I'm playing around with trying to learn how to do this just a little bit better. So I know we have a question from Carrie Olson Taylor. Do we want to take that first before we start?
Sure, we can do that.
I want you to have to wait all out. Jerry, you had a question or you had your hand raised? Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. We couldn't hear you. You want to try again?
Your mic is really breaking up. I can't hear anything.
Oops.
Yeah, sorry, Carrie. You might have to type your question in the Q&A and we'll get back to you there. So sorry. All right.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and start then. But thank you so much for participating and asking questions, and we'll try to get to those. And then we have some announcements to make, obviously, like we mentioned earlier. So what I wanted to share with you is some review, just a little bit, but so often people are not really thinking about vibrations, and they have a hard time trying to explain them to others. So maybe this little review will give you a few ideas so you can explain the WAVwatch when somebody asks you about it. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there's a frequency for that is our title today. And I want to show you how that's actually possible. So the first idea, which helps to give us just basic information, is that the law of vibration states that everything in the universe is in constant movement and motion, and its rate is called vibration, which is frequency. So they actually have the frequencies measured for everything that you can think of. They've been measured for over 100 years. So every stone and rock has a vibration. You can order quartz off the internet according to its frequency. And according to the size and the shape of it, it might have a little bit different frequency. So everything, every organ has been measured, different systems have been measured, obviously different viruses, parasites, bacteria. Everything you can think of has a frequency. Our medications can be measured. So there's lots of things that we wouldn't even think about that do have a frequency, and that's because of the law of vibration. So the next idea I think is so fun. And of course, the biggest rock of all has a vibration. The earth has a vibration, and it's known as the Schumann resonance. And it ranges between 7.3 and 36 hertz. Now, that's what got me, that it changes, that vibration changes, just like the stones can change according to the size and shape. The earth resonance can change too. So it changes from lightning strikes. Think how many lightning strikes they tell us hit. Solar energy, the change of the seasons, water in the atmosphere, and even magnetic impulses or different ideas can change the resonance of the earth. So again, it changes, they measure it. There's even websites that you can go to that show you what the earth's resonance is today. You know, I think it's just unbelievably fascinating that we know that everything resonates. So let's see if we can take advantage of that frequency. So if the earth resonates and we're walking on the earth, don't you think that we're going to be resonating? And we are going to be resonating at different frequencies at different times. It just makes sense. Everything else does. So your mind, body, and spirit are going to operate at different vibrations, and they can be changed or manipulated or biohacked, however you would like to say that. So some of you will always clue into walking on the earth, on the sand. I didn't get to do that. I didn't live on the beach, but I could go barefoot and I still felt that resonance. I didn't know what it was called, but you can feel that peace and calm when you are walking barefoot and absorbing the earth's energy. So everybody does and should have felt the earth's resonance when they're walking barefoot and grounding. A new term, so a lot of people know it, some people do not. Now, what I'm fascinated by is ancient cultures. They thought that just a simple sound, one sound, could reorganize the body structure. And sounds that were harmonious could create and activate healing in the body. So that was their thought process. So we are learning more and more. The Egyptians were known for toning, one sound, a toning sound. They were known for that. And we are finding more and more. Some people are still not agreeing necessarily, or they're not saying that it's set in stone on these ideas like the Egyptian pyramids. They're not quite agreeing yet. They're just a little bit slower coming online to think that the pyramids could have been made for other purposes besides a burial. They may have been made to create a sound to heal people or to help in that healing. Lots of different ideas are out there, and it's fascinating to try to keep up with some of the changes. So I hope you try to look at and learn some of those things once in a while. So obviously, ancient people worked a lot with different sounds. It was chants and humming and prayer and Tibetan bowls and gongs, and the list goes on ways that they could feel sound, and they had an intuition that they were using. So there's thousands of years of history using sound for different purposes. Can you hear that one at all? Joseph, can you hear that particular sound?
Yep, we can hear.
Can you hear the sound of that? Because I can't hear it, but you are hearing the sound.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, we can hear it.
Okay. So obviously, they had lots of intuition and lots of ideas that they used for sound for thousands of years. So these are some different types of healing instruments, and I kind of mentioned them earlier, but you can go to digproject.com, sound healing, 10 powerful sound healing instruments. It's really fascinating to hear all of those and to know that toning or one sound has been used for thousands of years to be very helpful for humans. And what I keep thinking in my mind is that we have the pyramids, we have hieroglyphics, we have all these buildings, but I don't really know that I picked out anything that they're saying, oh, and this was their hospital, and this is written here that this is where they took people when they were sick. I don't know if anybody can fill me in on that, but I'm not sure what they use for healing. So we'll be talking about that here in just a little bit. Now, another idea that I think is so important to us is that quantum physics is proved that we're 99.99% energy. Wow, we're energy. So why are we focusing just the opposite? We're focusing 99.99% on our physical when it's actually just the opposite. We're only 0.01% matter. Sometimes I turn that around when I say it, but I hope you're seeing what I'm saying, that we're focusing on just the opposite idea that we should be, because our energy and our vibrations can be biohacked. They can be changed. Remember, we're on the earth. The earth changes its resonance. It changes its resonation. We're on the earth. We are changing also and adapting. And we put different things in us. We do different things. We're going to be changing our energy. And we should realize that it can be done easily because we're 99.99% energy. I just love that idea. And then it even goes further. Dr. Candace Pert, way back in the 70s and 80s, told us that there's molecules and vibration that go all the way to the molecular level. So we have 70 different receptors on every cell. And they're going to create a vibration. They're going to start one cell to vibrate, and the next will vibrate, and the next. And I just keep saying it'll, zip through your body at an unbelievable rate, something like 4.3 times the speed of sound. So frequencies move through your body very quickly. So proven back in the 80s. Other ideas. This one came from Dr. Mitchell Gaynor. And I think his credentials are unbelievable. He's a director of medical oncology and integrative medicine at Cornell Cancer Prevention Center. So his book, although he has passed away now, Sounds of Healing, cannot be, it just can't be overstated. It's amazing. You can look at disease as a form of disharmony. And there's no organ system in the body that's not affected by sound and music and vibration. So if you need something really scientific to share with someone who might be a little skeptical of frequencies, this might be something that they would appreciate. Other people might just appreciate, tuning forks or information along that line, or maybe just even sending someone a connection with the hieroglyphics and the written word and what they're saying about toning in Egypt. So you just never know what would approach one person's sense and make them appreciate energy and frequencies and apply it to themselves. That's what we're needing to do as we reach out. And I so appreciate everybody just sharing ideas with their friends and neighbors and family. And we're seeing that is a huge part of the WAVwatch, is sharing it with those people. And so thank you for doing that. Really appreciate that. So it goes to say, we just know that when a cell is stressed or diseased, it vibrates erratically or discordantly. So it's going to change, obviously. And according to what it is exposed to, it's going to vibrate in a different chord. And I think some of you are starting to realize and already know that music has some discordant sounds. And I hate to pick on any group, but it really is the sound of rock bands, excuse me, not rock bands, heavy metal type sounds. And sorry, I got the phone ringing in my office. So another one is stimulating cells. I don't know if I should get up and turn that off, but stimulating cells with sounds can reduce the risk and impact of some common health problems. So this is from music medicine. So sound at a cellular level is from Dr. Lee Bartell. And so you can go onto TEDx and look at his information for music and medicine. So stimulating cells with sound. That's what we're trying to do with the WAVwatch, is stimulate cells with sound to reduce the impact and risk of some common health problems. That's why it's called self-care. That's why we have to tread very carefully and say words carefully, because we want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. We are not diagnosing you. We are not using this for any way, shape, or form to tell you what to do. You get to make your decisions. You know, if you have a headache, you know, you're the person that knows if you have, you know, a cold or a flu or maybe sinuses. So that's where we're heading with this. Sound can reduce the impact and the risk. And you can see this, Dr. Lee Bartell at TEDx online. Another idea that I haven't introduced yet is resonance, but I've talked about it. You know, basically, it's when one object vibrates at the same natural frequency of a second object, and it forces that object to change its vibrational motion. So we all know about this. It's the, you know, example of the opera singer singing a high note and breaking a glass. So you can have resonation with many different ideas. Another idea, written kind of small down here, is resonant vibrations will cause the energy of a particle to self-amplify and activate. And we're going to talk about that again too, you know, but that's what resonance is. So you actually have, maybe, let's just say you have a virus sitting in your body and it's resonating this way. And then you wear the WAVwatch or you wear something and it sends a resonance into the body that is a matching resonance. And so they're going to meet and there's going to be a reaction of some kind. So self-amplification is one idea. Inactivation is another idea. You can apply many words to that. And this is another way to say mortal oscillation rate. So this was basically from Tesla. I just love this, that we are finally applying so many things that have been learned over 100 years ago. And MOR, mortal oscillation rate, is what I have been talking about with the crystalline structure of a glass. So important and so easy to learn. We already have that concept in our mind, but we can apply that concept to other things around us that could be bothering our bodies. Now, Dr. Royal Rife, if you haven't heard of him, he's really considered the father of frequency medicine. And it's a very interesting concept. In the 1920s and 30s, he actually developed a very advanced microscope so he could see very minute particles. We can hardly activate it today or duplicate his microscope today, but we are finally seeing those small particles. And then when he activated his, he could see the changes in frequencies using his system. So at that point in time, basically he was working with medical doctors on the West Coast, and they were agreeing that the mortal oscillation rate was working, and there was lots of information out and about killing cancer cells. Now, I'm not saying that we're doing that at all with the WAVwatch. I'm just saying that's what he was able to talk about at that particular time period. But if you know his story, and I encourage you to read it, that might be another book that you could get. Several books written about Dr. Royal Rife, because basically frequencies were outlawed soon after his discovery, and his machines were destroyed. Any of those medical doctors that agreed with him on the West Coast were either lost their licenses, or they were destroyed also, or their offices, practices were shut down and whatnot. And all of his machines, again, supposedly were destroyed. But of course, there's information today that maybe something survived that we can duplicate. But it is very interesting to know that since the 1930s, that frequencies were taken out of our basic language. They were considered very dangerous. So please read up on that and learn why that might be important for us to apply today. Now, they are finally letting frequencies back into our healthcare system, and I'll be talking about that too. Just to go on, just another idea that you could share with people is Dr. Emoto, and he studied water crystal for over 20 years, and he wrote just amazing book. And he showed us how water is an energy that's capable of so much more than we ever imagined. So he was able to take pictures of a water crystal that had been exposed to just Mozart, basically, Symphony number 40. And you can see that beautiful crystal there. But then water that was exposed to heavy metal had the picture on the right, and so much different. So he has amazing pictures, not just these two. There's picture after picture after picture. And so that's a neat book to also have in your possession, or to share with somebody else if that's of interest, if you're trying to learn about sound and water. Now, what he also did was put emotions in water. Sometimes they just wrote them on a piece of paper, and the emotion was touching the water, just, written on the paper. And this is something that people have such a hard time with. It's like, there's nothing there, there's nothing there. But honestly, he was able to show how emotions or thought could change water also. So again, it is fascinating because he showed us that our emotions and what we are capable of. So water and energy is capable of a lot, but so are our emotions, and it goes so deep for us to learn. So if our bodies are about 60 to 80% water, how is each cell affected by sound? How are we affected by sound if our bodies are made up of so much water? So I have a little video to show you, and this is one of my favorite little videos, and I hope you can hear it. There's just some music behind it because I wasn't able to hear the last one. So please let me know, Joseph or John, if you can't hear this. There we go. So I think you can see that water is unbelievably moved by sound. I am just amazed by that. And I want to encourage you to go look at that YouTube channel if you're interested in that, 8 Crazy Experiments with Sound. So that's another great way to share with people that there's a frequency for that. Look at this, we need to kind of keep that in our mind. There's a frequency for that. There's a frequency that will change water. So please be excited. I think that's a fun thing. Again, when I used to teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, wow, excitement was part of it to share with people. Can you believe that a sound can make that water change and move in different directions? Just amazing to me still. And so again, if you go to 8 Crazy Sound Experiments, there's 7 other ideas that are just as crazy. Now, what I actually have up on the screen are some images, and these are the images of sound. So this is another whole concept that we need to be learning or putting into our minds. And some people already have this. I know I might be repeating, but it is fascinating to me. So somatics is basically our ability to take pictures of sound. So they know that everything has a different shape according to the sound. And they've taken these pictures and they're available to us. But here's what I want to show you that is probably my favorite picture. This one. So a lot on the screen here, but what we can see is that these are all heart cells. Each one of these squares represents a different heart cell, and it's been a different sound, a different acoustical sound. Put that in your mind. We're not talking about ultrasound or low sound. We're talking about the sound of our voice. So acoustical sound has been used on each one of these heart cells, and it puts it into an intricate pattern. So just changing the frequency puts those cells in motions, guides them to a new position, and holds them in place. And that is according to Stanford Med. Now, isn't that fascinating? Now, when I look at this, I immediately saw ancient people. I saw, maybe the rugs they would have made, or tiles they would have made, or images in windows, or just so many ideas. How did they see these exact ideas that we can now see when we have images of sound? I was just fascinated by that they actually already had that in all of different cultures. Not one culture, but all cultures seem to have, to me, pictures that would look something, like any of these. And yet here they are. We're actually seeing them now in our own body as they change with sound. So I don't know if I'm the only one that's fascinated by that. So this is just a little bit more about that idea from Stanford Med. They're saying that heart cells are densely packed. 100 million cells fit into the space the size of a sugar cube. And then, unlike other tissue engineering tactics, acoustics position the heart cells in a tight configuration that closely resembles natural cardiac tissue, turning the resulting beating blob into something valuable for medicine. Wow, think about that one. So they're saying that heart cells were maybe broken down and not correct. They were a blob, is what they're calling them, and that those are definitely something that needs to be looked at for changes in our body tissue. Now, this is a video, and I won't be able to hear it on my end for some reason, but it has a few words that I don't appreciate. I don't know how to take them out. Couldn't take them out. But the information on here is so fabulous that I hope you will appreciate this.
Here's a secret that's been kept by cathedrals for a long time. This right here is your DNA. This at the top is your DNA from a top-down view. These geometric shapes that you see is what we call sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is an ancient study that explains energy patterns, like this turtle right here. If you look to the right, what you see here is a sand plate that's connected to some type of instrument that can send out frequency. Now let's just say the instrument is a piano, and when I hit one of the notes on the piano, it shifts the sand into these specific geometric shapes. This is called cymatics, the study of visible sound. You can also do this with liquids. Now here's a picture of cymatics in water, top-down view of DNA, and church windows. Notice they are almost identical. Now how many times have you drove past a church window like this and wondered how the fuck did they come up with that design? They didn't, it's in your DNA. Now here's something very interesting. Everything has a resonant frequency, which basically means everything has its own frequency. Now, a lady did an experiment where she set up a mic in the church like this and recorded the silence. She then set up speakers to play that silence so that it would go back into the mic and keep creating a louder and louder and louder sound, to the point to where it was strong enough to show up cymatically. Now, when she played that sound through water, it created these shapes cymatically. And to her surprise, the same shape the sound of the church was making was what the shapes of the windows inside the church looked like. There's only one group of people I know who can build at that level. But anyway, I remember buildings have their own resonant frequency, which means that when you're in the building, your body is being interacted with those frequencies. So if your body is made of 60 to 80% water, and this is what water looks like when it's vibrating, that means whatever shape is made by the sound of the church is the shape that your DNA is taking form of. I believe these cathedrals are designed to create healing frequencies to make you feel good when you're inside of the church. This could be part of the reason why people feel good when they enter a church, not realizing the church is emitting its own healing frequency in alignment with the instruments that are being played by uplifting music scales. Here's a secret that's been kept by
Wow. So I'm not sure what everybody thought about that. I couldn't hear it. I felt a little handicapped again. But from what I remember hearing that several times, I will never go into a church like that again and just have the same feeling. I think I want to be quiet and still enough to feel that resonance. So we can feel it. Here's where I was going with this. We don't necessarily have to hear it. That's exactly why the WAVwatch might be working differently for you, is because we are feeling those vibrations. So when you go into a church like that, with that information, knowing that there's a vibration, a tone in there that you may not be able to hear, but your body can feel it. It's bypassing the ear. So that's another amazing way that sound moves through our body, moves through the spine and the bones, and it can make changes without you even realizing, because you didn't hear a sound. Anything you want to add to that, Joseph and John, as we go along? You have seen lots of cathedrals.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about your body, about what you're talking about there. You know, it's fascinating because as a musician, your voice sounds different recorded than what we hear, and that's because our voice is transmitted to our ears through our bones. So we hear more clearly, a fuller range because of the vibration through our jaw. So that's just one fascinating thing about vibration there.
So to me, it just gets more and more fascinating to think that it's taken them how many years to discover that maybe that a church is more than what it seems, and that there are special sounds that they built and developed and made for certain purposes. Just a toning sound, just a specific sound for whatever they were trying to do. So that actually goes back to the Egyptian idea that one sound, and they may have made the pyramids or the temples so that they would tone, that they would make one specific sound, because they thought that certain sounds could change the whole body. So amazing what maybe ancient cultures have known. Now, just to show you just more ideas, a 2006 study found that sound resonance is highly effective for fibromyalgia. So a condition which is very difficult to manage normally. So lots of ideas that they are now putting specifically to very specific treatments. And here's another one, or another idea. I mentioned that sound had been discontinued. I said it wrong, that frequencies had been outlawed. That's a better way to say it, isn't it? They had been banned in the 1930s. And now we are using them again. I don't know what happened. I don't know what changed, but we can use and see sound and vibration now because we have MRI machines. So that's all it does. It uses sound and vibration to produce images inside the body. So we know that sound therapy is mainstream. It's being used right now. We just hadn't thought about it. Another idea I wanted to share with you, just to kind of go over some reasons why there's a frequency for everything. They have discovered this. They can measure so many things. So a French composer found that with a series of acoustic sounds, he could explode cancer cells, energize and empower healthy ones. So he actually just taught 2 women. It was a very small study, but they actually have very small studies on different medications also. So I'm not sure, where the cut line is for them to be able to say that this is information that will continue to be used. But his information is fascinating. He taught 2 women to tone, to use their voices, and they are just singing the same frequencies for 3.5 hours every day for a month. Now, I know I couldn't do that. So my hat is off to those women who could tone frequencies 3.5 hours a day for a month. One woman's cancer disappeared without a trace. And when the other woman had surgery, the tumor had greatly reduced and literally shriveled up. And all that they had done was this toning with acoustical sounds. So I think that's why so many things that are around us may have had different uses that we have not given to them and thought about. And then we're actually able to take pictures now of cells that are exploding. So this is a 1-cell organism that's exposed to 1,150 hertz. And this is, again, between 20 to 20,000. That's our acoustical range. So these cells are exploding with that particular sound. So we have many bioacoustical tools that have wave frequency libraries. And that's exactly what the WAVwatch has. That's what other tools have. And they are using that MOR, mortal oscillation rate, where the idea with the crystals, the correct frequency will break a glass. So this is a great idea and opportunity for us to use more cost-effective ideas with less side effects. You can update the frequencies and change things as mutations occur on any bacteria, viruses, parasites, whatever. So very easy to do. So, just an idea of the WAVwatch and using it in the future. So just kind of winding down on this. Basically, the WAVwatch has 3 different swipe screens. I think all of you have discovered that by now, but once in a while I have somebody call and they just have discovered 1 swipe screen. So there's 3 swipe screens, there's 1,000 selections, there's 4 ways to repeat a frequency. You can create 3 different playlists. And I really want to emphasize this. Don't worry too much about playlists. You can create 3, but I feel like I've created 80 playlists for you already. Everything that's in a category in a folder together could be a playlist for an idea, so that you don't have to do it. You don't have to go through 1,000 ideas and put them where you want them. I've already categorized them for you. So if you've got liver problems, you want everything that's in the liver folder, because some of those words you might not know. And, an example I've used before, I have a lady that had put a playlist of 70 ideas together. And I heard that she told me that she had Lyme disease. And I said, did you find the Lyme ideas? And she said, yeah, I found Lyme disease and I put it in my playlist. And I said, wait a minute, I've made you a playlist already of Lyme disease and there are 24 ideas in there. So she had missed the majority, most everybody. She only had one idea when there was so many more. So that's why you kind of want to use the playlist as much as you can and get too overboard about your own playlist. And obviously it's not necessary to hear that. So very important for us to really realize the importance of learning the wave through it. So here's just a little image. There's always two ways to do it. So you can use the menu bar on the lower right to take you back home very quickly, or to see the repeat cycle in a written version, or you can use the lower left-hand corner and just touch these buttons, and there's 4 different changes there if you have the latest 1000 frequency watch. If you have one of the older watches, they might only have 3 icons right here. So that's the difference.
This is big.
And pretty important to remember that almost anybody and everybody can use.
This is big. Real big. This is big. Real big.
We have dogs, cats, and horses, and ducks, and we have all kinds of and ages of children, and we have vets and their wives, and all ages of people using the WAVwatch. So hopefully you're sharing some of these ideas with other people, because one way to use the WAVwatch is just to show people the simplicity of it. It's frequencies, it's simple, it's cost-effective, drug-free, and it is self-care. You do have to put a little bit of effort into it and think, but you can empower yourself. And as a former teacher, I think that's what I take a lot of passion, or put a lot of passion into, is teaching, because we need to be learning and teaching and sharing ideas about health, rather than just, oh, I'm just going to take this pill and do what I'm told. So we want to have our own control. We want to be empowered and actually have tools that can help us. So if you're interested in the WAVwatch, this is what would come with it. There's a handbook, 24 pages. There's a swipe screen here, and you'll pull off this thin film. I think you can barely see this little tail here. You'll pull this off, and then you'll put the heavier screen protector right on here. You've got 2 wristbands to choose from, and you've got your cord and your battery charger. So I think I just want to, say that don't forget, sound can easily be biohacked with many tools. So your bodies can be biohacked very easily. You just have to get out and explore them and find out what's available for you. Like this. We have been told, and we are using a lithotripsy machine in this image for kidney stones. But what if you just explored and you found another tool like the WAVwatch that could possibly break down kidney stones? Now, I'm not saying this definitively. I'm just saying we have 22 different testimonies, although no double-blind studies have been completed. But people wore these for about 30 minutes. Their pain went away. When they did a urine sample, they had stones or little pieces of flack in their urine. So I can't say this. I'm not trying to say that it does do this. I'm trying to say, look around and try some different ideas. So because everything has a frequency, there's a frequency for that. You can find it on some tool. So hopefully you will enjoy using your WAVwatch and trying it for lots of different frequencies, because we have 1,000, 1,000 frequencies. So there is literally a frequency for them. And of course, I always have to kick out a new idea, but maybe it's not a brand new idea, because look at this idea right here. So there's more to come than what we know, obviously. Maybe the WAVwatch is not a new idea. Thank you. I think I'm kind of done. I got time to share and talk to anybody else and answer questions. So I tried to
Looks
make
like
right at 45 minutes.
looks like we have a few questions, and I think I'll have you take a couple, and then I'll take one too, just for fun. So my new friend Anonymous is wondering what is the recommendation for how often to run frequencies for chronic issues such as psoriasis? Once a day, multiple times a day, all day, every day, for a couple of weeks to get under control. First of all, before Linda goes, the WAVwatch is not designed to be run 24/7. And if you run it 24/7, you're going to become very good friends with our customer service team. It is a self-care device that we feel like somewhere in the 6 to 8 hours a day range is about right for running these treatments, or not really treatments, but running these frequencies and ideas. And using it over that time frame is going to be too stressful for the battery over time. So, Linda, what can you say about chronic issues and how often to run?
Well, I love you say when you said you're going to have a close relationship with our customer service, because people have gotten addicted to the WAVwatch and they do want to wear it a longer period of time, which we didn't realize when the watch was first developed. So buy a second watch if you want it to last a little longer for you, if you want to wear it, because you actually could wear frequencies for a longer time. Just be aware of that you're going to wear your watch out earlier. But we absorb frequencies all day long, 24 hours a day. In the middle of the night, your body's absorbing frequencies. You're going to hear something. The dog's going to get up and move. You're going to hear it, So we are hearing and feeling and absorbing frequencies for many hours a day. There is no documented study on how long and what is right and what is wrong. So that's why this is a self-care tool. Just knowing that these frequencies should be safe, it puts it in your hands to figure out how long you want to run it. But most people, if they just run it 1 or 2 times a day for a specific idea, can get some of the results that they're asking for. And maybe they have to run it for a week or 2 weeks, but they, not necessarily all day long. Now that's your choice. We've told you what happens when you run it, for longer periods of time. You're going to wear your battery out much, much quicker. But
All right.
I think that kind of answers that idea.
And then Mark is asking, he's wondering if the long duration of a single frequency, like running one particular frequency all night long, is intrinsically more effective than, say, running it for 2 hours or something like that. And he says his wife suffers from very, very terribly from sciatica, and possibly as an outgrowth of her Parkinson's. Is it best to run WAVwatch frequencies such as those for long durations of time, or better to use a punctuated approach? What do you recommend?
Again, different people have given different ideas, because somebody with Parkinson's said, I wore 2 hours and had changes, in tremors. I had one person that had tremors. It wasn't necessarily labeled Parkinson's, but it was just called tremors, and they'd had them for 25 years. And after an hour, now we have a video of that on the internet on our website. And after an hour, his tremors were 90% better. So that would be completely different from someone who's given me the testimony that they ran it all night long. So again, these are safe. So you should be able to do your own, maybe experimentation a little bit, try it for 2 hours, or let your wife wear it all night long and see if you can tell the difference, and then react to that and run it according to her response to it. So I've had people who have, there was one lady who had a neck problem. She said she couldn't really move her neck correctly for 36 years. And I'm going, how do, kind of questioning. And she's going, well, it was when she gave birth. So she knew exactly when she did it. And I was in my office. I put the frequency with the WAVwatch on for her to wear as a sample. And I put it on neck pain. I reached over, got my cell phone so that I could video her. And I turned around and she was already moving her head like this. And I said, what? And I thought your neck was messed up. She goes, it ain't now, that kind of thing. So Some people it's really, really quick. Some people it could take days, and different problems could take different problems. So it's really kind of for you to experiment.
All right. And Martha's asking about how to change out a band. I'm just going to take care of this one for you.
All
So,
right.
if your watch is like this, you can kind of flip it over so you can really see the base of the wave watch. And notice there's a little silver piece sticking up. You just put your fingernail on that piece and push down, and it'll come all the way off, and do it the other way as well. And then you can switch out bands and do different things. I've grown to really like these Velcro bands that we've started including in the last 6 months or so. All right. Let's see. Audrey was wondering about hiccups. I'm not sure that we have a frequency for hiccups. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully wait a few minutes. Let's see.
There's a
Okay,
frequency for it. We just don't have it on the watch.
And then we've got a few people with their hands raised. Joseph, can you help handle that?
Yes, I can. Did you answer the one about restless legs yet, John?
No, I didn't.
I'll bring that up. So
okay.
Lady Smith said she's tried a few options, RLS, dystonia neuro, and still have restless legs. Any other ideas to play?
Sorry, she did try restless legs.
Yes, I think she abbreviated RLS as restless legs. Any other ideas?
Okay. So I don't know if she tried everything that was in that particular folder. She could also make sure that she's tried all the muscle cramps, all the muscle spasms, and things like that. And then this is outside the WAVwatch, but I love to tell people, my husband just puts maybe 1/4 teaspoon to 3/8 of a teaspoon of unrefined sea salt in his hand and gulps it down like that, and his restless legs go away too. So I have been telling people that for 20 years probably, to take salt, and that definitely helps restless legs. But he's also had results with the WAVwatch just almost instantly when he plays the restless legs. I would say just try to play as many things as you can. You might also go through some of the germ folders, because once in a while there's a particular bacteria or virus or something that's actually adding to that stress also that could be in your body. Don't have a lot of ideas on that. Sorry, but I think the salt is the strongest one to add at this stage.
Meryl.
And go ahead. One more sentence. And I try to tell people about salt all the time. That is something that you should be taking with the WAVwatch. So the salt, unrefined sea salt, has about 80 minerals in it that you're not getting other places. And basically it is very, very helpful. And that makes energy and frequencies move through your body when you have the correct minerals.
You are always were salty, Mom. I'm just kidding. Meryl is wondering that we a few weeks ago you were discussing radiation poisoning and had some ideas. She's wondering about a frequency that deals with vitamin C, or would have to do with vitamin C.
Yes, and I do have that on the WAVwatch, and it is it's called viral immune support, and it is in the virus folder. Sorry, when I first started developing the WAVwatch, they didn't like vitamin C anymore. Vitamin D was kind of on the outs. You know, you were hearing lots of negative things, and so rather than risk some things, I just put vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and iodine in a folder together, and that's called viral immune support. And that is in germs, viruses, viral immune support.
And then Mary has a question. Joseph's typing an answer, but I'll just do it real quick here. So basically there's a TF card, or it's a mini SD card. If you have a good fingernail, you can just very gently push it and it'll start to come out. And then it comes out like that. And then make sure you put the new one in just oriented the same way. And then when you put it back in, here, I'll turn this, it'll very, very slightly click, and you'll feel it click into place, and then it'll spring back out and be flush with the WAVwatch there. All right. Cool. Yeah, we're having some fans of viral immune support. And then Gary has a question about lymphedema in both legs and plantar fasciitis in both feet. Do you have any recommendations there, Linda? And then we have some raised hands again, and then I'll stop talking.
Yeah.
So you would go to organs and the lymph folder and play through all of those for those particular ideas. And then there isn't wording for plantar fasciitis on the WAVwatch. There may be, it may be a source, I haven't found it, but it is just labeled fasciitis, and that is in the muscle area. So that would be in self-care, I believe, and muscles. And then it's also in pain and muscles. I don't have a book right beside me to grab, I guess.
Yeah, no. Well, we take a few raised hand questions? We're almost at the end of our time, and then I do want to do a quick announcement as well here at the end. All right, Mike, we'll bring you in first, and then Meryl Ward, you'll be next. All right, Mike, if you want to unmute and turn your camera on and say hi, we'd love to see what your question is. All right, do we have you there, Mike? And Meryl, I'll go ahead and bring you in as well. Hi
Here's
there, Mike.
Mike.
We can see you.
Yes,
Just-
I was trying to find the folders for dementia that would have a set of different frequencies for that. Just so
In
that I have a
seniors, it would be in the senior folder. And then there's one for Alzheimer's, and I believe it
Brain.
does, and brain.
Yep. Yeah, that seniors folder has Alzheimer's and brain, just like she said. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome. Thanks, Mike. All right, Meryl, we're bringing you in.
Hi.
And Lonnie, hi there. We can
Hi
hear
there.
you.
Please forgive me for being so obtuse, but when I go into germs virus and I get viral support, it's 8 minutes, right? And in that
Yes.
8 minutes, you get vitamin C, you get zinc, you get vitamin D, or is there another idea that folds out of there?
No, that's it. Zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C, and iodine. There are 4
And- yes.
frequencies.
Oh, perfect. And in that 8 minutes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Mhm. Good.
May I also ask another question? I have a friend who has alpha gamma disease, and when I was listening, you said, "Oh yes, we went over that a few weeks back." I didn't have my watch a few weeks back at the time. You also have a frequency for that in there, or is it under a different folder?
No, at the time that I developed the WAVwatch, there was not one for alpha gamma, but I have, or alpha gal is what I call
Right.
it. Alpha
Yeah.
gal.
Yes, it is true.
And I have had several testimonies of people who just used the Lyme folder and had relief from it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I love my watch. I wear it for more than 6 to 8 hours. I plan on buying another one because I have the addiction, and I love the comment in the comments in there saying it's a good addiction. So yes, of all my addictions, it's my favorite. So thank you. And I
Same
am
here.
yes, and I just want to say a shout out to Michelle. I did win a free elastic band watch, Michelle Moore. And
Yep.
based on Michelle Moore's frequency, I have my watch from you, and I'm going to see a dentist because of Dr. Michelle's recommendation from Michelle Moore. So I
Right.
love you all. I'm so happy.
And while you're waiting for that dentist, run the dental frequencies. That could be helpful.
My appointment's today, and I took my watch off so I can save it for the dental frequency because I wear it all the time. I will be putting it on.
All
Thank
right.
you all. Thank you. I love you. Appreciate you. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Meryl.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. we have a few other people with their hand raised. Lonnie and Patty, did you have a question or do you want to type it in the chat? Let's see. Lonnie, are you there? Or Patty?
Hi. Hello. Can you
Hi,
hear
Patty.
me?
Yeah, we can
Hi.
hear you.
I'm amazed about what you just said about the viral folder. I had no idea that you had the vitamin frequencies in there. That's so exciting. I want to know if you if you put the volume up higher, does that heal your body faster? Or it
No.
doesn't matter what number the volume is on?
It's really what you can stand, which most people don't want to hear something. They want to absorb it. And, that's just like the churches. You weren't hearing a sound in those churches, but once they had tools where they could measure them, you were absorbing that. So,
Okay.
people would leave those churches with the most amazing, feelings, right? They say that over and over again. So another way.
So being on number 1 is as good as being on number 10.
We say 4 to 8, just where you can't hear it. I do have to laugh at myself. I'm deaf. I had it on at 12 at one time and I couldn't hear it at 12. And I went into the bank. And I scared the bank tellers to death. They're going,
I gotta tell you, that's so funny because we were walking around the house and my husband going, what's that sound? What's that sound? And we're thinking it's the fire alarms and it's following us. It was my watch. I didn't hear it and he was hearing it. And it annoys some people and some people don't hear it.
So whatever. Yeah. And then I love to tease about Chris Eric's baby Trump. He says that he turns his up as loud as it'll go when he walks into a room, because then everybody will come and talk to him and ask what it is.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, different things, different folks. Thank you, Patty.
Thanks.
Thanks, Patty.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Lonnie or Ellen, did you have a question?
And Joseph, I'm wondering if you need to make your announcement so that if people have to get off or whatever too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But we obviously have Ellen on. All right.
Did you have a question for us, Ellen?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, good morning. It's my first time
Morning.
here. I bought the WAVwatch last year, but I haven't really used it. I am diabetic and metformin is not working for me. So is there anything that would help me from the WAVwatch?
Well, I can't ever make any promises. It's not a medical device. It's, we're not doing the testing. You are doing your own self-care. And it basically is in the very first, it would be page 6 in this booklet. And there is a frequency for diabetes. So there are 6 different choices. So you want to go to that first chronic icon and then select diabetes and play through all of those.
Oh, okay, great.
And
Thank you so much.
in your situation, I would play those, once a day for several weeks,
Okay,
Yeah.
I would
and you
do
could
that.
loop them through a couple times if you have, if you want to.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Ellen. Thank you.
Bye-bye. God bless you.
Bye. Bless you. Well, I'll make a few announcements and then we can take other questions at the end if that's all right. So just wanted to share a few things. I wanted to announce last week for Mother's Day, we did a lot of giveaways. So just wanted to announce the winners. Oh, whoops. You know what? I forgot to share my audio because we have a short video of one of the winning testimonies. All right. So can you guys see this?
No.
No. Great. Yeah, we're having the same challenges. All right, let me try again. Okay. Nope. Same issues. Oh, well, we'll just share it this way. This is so challenging. So I understand. All right, so you guys can see. So on the Monday last week, we did a Facebook and Instagram comment. We asked people to share about why your mom should win a free WAVwatch, and Marlene Hess was randomly chosen. And what she said was really, really sweet. Just gave it an amazing story about her mom. Apparently immigrating and didn't speak English. Was the fourth in a family of 13. Just really hardworking. So Marlene, thank you for commenting, and your WAVwatch is on the way. And on Tuesday, we did a review giveaway so people could go to our website and review their WAVwatch. And the random review that we picked was from Silver G. And she said, it always gets rid of my headache. Best thing ever. Always gets rid of my headaches. Furthermore, because of my osteoporosis, I have a lot of knee and hip pain. Wearing the watch gets rid of the pain, cannot be without it. So, and on Wednesday, on this webinar a week ago, we had a random winner who was a mom sharing about, and I'll play you guys just a short video of her testimony.
We absolutely love the WAVwatch. We have 2 of them in our family. There's 8 of us in our family. So we use it on our littles. My little had a sore throat this morning, and she is using the kids' sore throat to help her with that. And my husband is a veteran. He has a lot of pain issues. Well, he doesn't have them. He wears his WAVwatch when he goes through these things and will wake up in the morning, and it has significantly helped with not having to go in and get steroid shots, and just kind of, not that we bypass our medical, but we absolutely love the results that we're getting with it. I am postpartum from twins. I use it a lot for hormonal balance, emotional issues, and it's very noticeable when I am able to have it on regularly, just to kind of help me get through some of those ups and downs. So we are just enjoying, as a family, we're enjoying these watches, and we're so thankful that we found them.
What a great mom story.
Oh, that is perfect.
Many ways to use that with the
Yes.
family that you have. Thank you.
So I just thought it was really sweet that she uses it for her kids, for herself, for her husband. And so she was randomly chosen. And congratulations, Angela. And by the way, Angela, if you're listening, or if you're seeing this, I don't have your email address. If you could email me so I can send you your free watch, it's joseph@wavwatch.com. And congrats, Angela. And on Thursday, we did a survey and we had a lot of responses. So thank you for everybody that filled out the survey. And Lori Patrick was the one who won. And I'm not going to read her whole feedback that she wrote on the survey, but she is a big fan of Linda and Michelle Moore. And her mom has been sick, and so she's really excited about winning the chance to win a WAVwatch. So Lori, congratulations. And last but not least, we want to remind everybody, in case you haven't seen it, we've been talking about it for a little while, but we are really excited to be interviewing Carrie Madej next week on this webinar. But because of Carrie's, I guess, star power, you would say, we are limiting the seats, and we're also asking people to register. So just so we have enough bandwidth in our webinar. So there's a link here you can go to, and I'll paste this in the chat. But also there's a QR code here, and you'll just go to that link and register with your name and email, just so that we will email you the password to join. It will be next Wednesday at the same time. So that's what I got. And lastly, and then we can take a few more questions. Linda was talking about the WAVwatch, but it's easy to use. And for everybody on the webinar, we have a $100 discount just for you. In case you don't already have somebody that you're following, you can use the code webinar100, and that will give you $100 off of a WAVwatch. And in case you didn't know, we do have
Michelle Moore. Please give credit to Michelle Moore. that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. If you're watching somebody, then give them credit. But if you don't have a discount code, webinar 100. All right, that's what I got. I know we had a few other people that had raised their hands, so we can try to take those questions if you guys want to stay on longer. Is that all right for you guys? And if you need to go, that's fine as well. All right, I think Ellen and Lonnie, we already talked. Mark Anderson, did you have a question? Let me.
We
unmute
haven't
you
done
so you can-
Lonnie either, I don't think. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they were driving. Yeah, we can hear you, Mark.
great. Good day to you. I just want to make sure I understand. I haven't been using the watch real long. When I put it on my wife's, like say sciatica or dystonia setting, of course, dystonia's muscle contractions very similar, along with sciatica. I'll notice that the frequency, I usually put it so I can hear it a little bit, just so I know it's going. And she kind of likes to be able to hear it a little bit. And I'll check the watch later and it'll be on some other frequency than the one I put it on. And I'd like it to stay, like say on sciatica for maybe 2 hours without me having to adjust it, or maybe longer. Am I missing something as to why it would skip to the next frequency on the list or whatever?
Now, have you been setting it with the, there's 4 codes down here that you can set it with? Have you been choosing the one that is just a square with 2 arrows looping around it?
Yeah, mostly.
And the number 1 in the center, sorry, it would say 1 and a square with 2 arrows looping around. You have to pick that one for something to loop longer than the limited time.
One in the square with 2 arrows going around, one arrow on top, one on the bottom.
Yes,
So that will just stay on that frequency until I intervene.
yes,
Yeah.
it should. And once in a while, I bump it myself. I know I've said it, and then I bump it. I look at it and it's like, oh, but I'm not saying they're perfect, but you do need to set that at that, correct one right here.
Oh, so
On this
bumping it,
page.
you might, almost like a phone, you might do something inadvertent.
Yeah, you could.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Now, can you record with these?
There is a recording segment, like for people who want a special prayer, I like those kind of things, but we haven't used that very much at all. People have not really accessed that a lot.
Oh, but it is possible.
Yes.
Okay,
And then
I'll
play
email
that
you
back
back
and
a
hear that
question
person's
late.
voice.
Yeah, I'll try that and email you back and see how it goes.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
Mark.
Good enough for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Yep. Mark, I'd also recommend playing the full back pain folder for your wife and trying some other ideas as well. All right, so we've got a few more questions, but we're over time. Have these questions already been answered, John? Do you know? I don't think so.
I think a lot of people were asking for a link to the recording of this webinar.
Okay, all right.
And and then Carrie is asking, or Robin's asking if Carrie Monday's webinar will be recorded. Yes, and Robin, even if you don't do QR codes, there is an actual direct link as well. Do you have that link?
There's a
Rob,
link.
Yeah, there's a link.
Yes, I'm going to paste that in right now. Yep, I will do that right now. And then I think maybe just in the sake of time.
We have her scheduled for an hour next week, and we'll see, she'll be able to talk, and I'm not sure of her presentation or, whatever. So we may have time for questions and we may not, but. All
right. So let me type that link for the webinar and then also if you want to catch the replay, I'll put this in the chat on Rumble or YouTube. And then, yeah, we've got a few. Go ahead, John.
Looks like Penny is wondering she's wondering if zinc is in viral support, Linda.
Yes. Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, iodine.
Okay. And then somebody's asking about lymphoma. Do we have anything for that, Mother?
It would just be in the lymph nodes. It's not necessarily lymphoma. We just have lymph diseases, lymphatic diseases, so nothing that is specifically labeled lymphoma. But also I would go to the pathogen folder, try to clear out as many things as you could that might be related to precancerous ideas. And again, I'm not saying that WAVwatch is guaranteed to do this, or it's a medical diagnosis, or it's a, just that you could try that.
Right. I got you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then Joseph, should people be getting an email if they signed up for
Yeah,
the
if you
webinar?
sign up for the webinar, you'll get an email reminder a few days before and the day of with the link and the password. So, yep.
Okay. And if you don't get something by the day before at least, then maybe check your junk mail folder. Sometimes things will slide into there.
Yep.
So,
yep.
okay.
All right. And so I would just say this, since we're quite a bit over time, should we ask people that have their hands raised, they could email info@wavewatch.com with your questions. And if you need support, you can always go to wavewatch.com/support. I'll put that in the chat as well.
Excellent.
So
thank you all
thank
so
you for
much.
everyone for joining today, and great to see you all. All right.
Thank
Take
you
care.
so much for coming. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I felt bad we didn't get all the questions answered.